Hey guys, Motor Car Nut here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the modern car timing chain, valve timing issues with the newer cars today, why it's so important to change your oil, and I'm just going to visually show you things so you can get an understanding of maybe what's going on with your car or what's not going wrong with your car. All right, so what we have here is just a basic little engine. It's a 4-cylinder. All right, we have the variable valve timing up here. What that means is that basically there's an oil pressure solenoid, all right, that diverts oil to make these cams turn a little bit when it's running to give you a little bit more horsepower. All right, at the higher end, lower end, whichever way the computer and the engineers designed it. All right, that's how they're all different. Some of them have it in the sides, but basically they're all the same. You know, every manufacturer can't copy each other, so they all do it their own way. So you have your timing gears, you have your timing chain. All right, then you have your guides. All right, they're usually plastic. Then you have the crank. All right, then you have the timing chain tensioner. Okay, so basically the timing chain tensioner, it keeps tension two ways. Oil pressure and regular spring pressure. Now, if this just had an oil pressure and there was no spring pressure, when you shut the car off, right, it's going to lose oil pressure and this piston can go in. And what that would do is when you start the car again, the timer can jump. So before the pressure, when you first start the car, for that split second for the pressure, oil pressure to get to the timing chain tensioner, which is like this right here. This is a little bit different one, but they're all the same. All right, this gets full, this gets mounted to the block, and there's oil pressure little ports inside, right there, you see them? That keeps pressure on this when the engine's running. But when it's off, like I just said, it can't go all the way in. You see how this one doesn't go all the way in? Because it's got teeth over here, and there's like a little mechanism in here, like a little claw, and again, they're all different, but they all work the same way, that once it extends a certain amount, it won't go back. And if it does go back, that means that the timing chain tensioner is no good. Okay, now a couple of reasons what's going to happen with that. If it's not that bad, it's going to move when the engine's running because it's not locking in, and that can give you a chain slap, a noise, that it's going to make noise on the cover, all right, or it's going to bang against the guides. Or worse than that, if this fails completely, it can jump timing, maybe just one tooth, the engine's going to run rough, you're going to have timing codes, all right, check engine light, and now if it even jumps worse than that, it may not even start at all, or if it just blows, and let's say you're on the highway and these are spinning now, they're spinning anywhere they want, the pistons inside the engine can hit the valves because the valves are supposed to go up when the piston goes up, and if they're still hanging down, there's where you can bend valves and cause catastrophic engine failure, all because of the timing chain tensioner. Now, other than that, you have to maintain your oil because you got to think of these engines as basically it's all hydraulic oil. Hydraulic oil controls a lot of things. It controls the timing chain tensioner. It controls the timing gears, exhaust and intake. So you can imagine it's all those little arteries in there. The oil has to be clean, it has to be at the right pressure. So as it cakes up and you don't change your oil and the oil gets dirty and it's full of particles and carbon buildup, all these little inside of these the oil ports, it doesn't operate properly. And then you can get a lot of different codes. You can get a lot of all bad codes just from not changing your oil. And I don't mean you have to change your oil every 1,000 miles. Don't do it what the manufacturer says 8,000 is too long. Especially oil and filter is cheap. You can do it yourself. I have many videos to show you how to do it yourself. There's no reason why you should make it go that long you never know. You may have problems and you can prevent them. Preventative maintenance is number one, And you just change your oil. I would say every 3,000 to 4,000 miles is not bad. Change your oil, change your oil filter, change your air filter. Keep the car. Those are basic, cheap things that can keep the car running for a lot of mileage. Now, granted, even if you did change your oil, these components can fail because it's a mechanical device. Any mechanical device is going to fail, regardless if it's Hyundai, regardless if it's Ferrari. It really doesn't matter. All right? It's maintenance is the key. And ultimately, the design, some engines are worse than others. Yes, I get that. But 99% of the time, it's owner neglect. And often you hear, like here we have tensioning on here, right? And up here you can see, look at this. All right, that's chain stretch. All right. Now that chain stretch it's going to do two things. It's going to bang on the cover, make that noise, and that's a telltale sign that you better do something. Something happened. Why did the chain stretch? Chain can stretch from heat, lack of oil changes, like I just said, or sometimes they're poor design, but that's rare. That's like 10% of the time. The chain is supposed to, especially a chain, not a belt. A chain is supposed to last the lifetime of the engine. A lot of times they don't. Things wear out. And again, why do they wear out? Lack of oil changes. It's just as simple as that. And if this was a belt, so basically you would just have different types of gears here, and here. It'd be a belt, and it wouldn't be a oil pressure tensioner. It'll be a regular spring tensioner that has a spring like a serpentine belt. That's a little bit different. I'll show you that once I have one of those engines apart. But again, what it does, it just keeps the valve timing all aligned, all properly tensioned, so the engine runs smooth. So they're basically all the same. When I get one of those belt-driven ones, I'll show you. You can watch one of my videos with the Ford. The 1.6 Ford engine has a belt, and it also has variable valve time that's oil-controlled. And another thing is the guides. Again, the guides usually don't break. Sometimes they do shatter. You get a lot of BMWs have cheap plastic, and they do break, even if you do maintain the oil. But a lot of times when I take those cars apart, the oil is sludged up. So right then and there, you have to blame not changing the oil on time. So that's basically it, on this little simple design. And when you got a 6-cylinder or 8-cylinder, then you got another set of gears. But it's all basically, say, a little more complicated as far as the chains going around, but it's all the same principle. All right, so hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit. And the symptoms, like I told you, can be not a banging noise in the front cover somewhere. All right, it can be this one got smashed. But anyway, well, this engine was lack of oil changes, it was oil starvation actually, and made a hole through the block over here. All right, so this engine was not taken care of at all. But getting back to the symptoms, you're going to hear a banging noise, a chain rattling against aluminum cover. All right, you may get misfiring. You're going to get a check engine light. You're going to get valve train codes. All of that leads to this area right here. All right, it has to be diagnosed. If the engine is still running, I would recommend you having it diagnosed by a mechanic or watching my videos before you do any more damage. Because if the engine is still running and it's just making a little bit of noise, it could be the timing chain stretch, it can be the tensioner is giving out. All of that stuff can be taken care of for fairly cheap. But once the timing loses its events and they spin, you're going to cause catastrophic engine failure, and you don't want that. All right, guys, Motorcar Nut, please subscribe, hit the like button. Any questions pertaining to this video, leave them below. I answer all my questions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.